they told you you were not pretty enough, you were not light enough, you were not dark enough, you're not smart enough, you don't dress sophisticated enough. Somewhere along the way, someone told you the lie and had you to believe it, and you internalized it as a child. I am not enough. And so then it makes you an easy target to get with someone that's in a toxic relationship. You see what I'm saying? They need someone who doesn't feel worthy, who doesn't feel like they're enough, and who has low self-esteem, body image issues. They disarm you into telling them what your weaknesses are. So that's how they're able to decide if you are a proper target, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. So in terms, like, what do you call it as a toxic relationship? Is it like an abusive person, could be the partner, or could be like mentally someone abusive, not only physically?
You know what? This is what I describe as a toxic relationship. When you think about, when they say be careful, sometimes there are toxins in your home or toxins in the air. So when you're and those toxins affect you physically. When you're in a toxic relationship, that other person who is toxic is basically bleeding out their toxins. And their toxins is all of their emotional and mental wounds that they're bleeding out of them. And it's on to you, but it's affecting you in every area. It's affecting you spiritually. It's affecting you emotionally. It's affecting you mentally. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's all areas, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. All four of those are affected when you're in a toxic relationship, because once your emotions are affected, then, the mind, body, and soul works together. So all of your areas are affected. So I would say being in a toxic relationship is being in a relationship where, like I said, the other person in the relationship are bleeding out their childhood wounds, and they're bleeding out onto you, but it's affecting you in all four of those areas.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I know you work with a lot of women in that kind of situation. You help them get out of it. So when they approach you, what type of toxic relationship they have in common? Like what type of problem they're having at home?
Okay, some of the main problems would be the person is controlling them. They're telling them where to go, when to go there, what to say, how to say it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe even what not to say. So they're controlling them in some type of way. And then the other person, they're witnessing them judging and criticizing other people all the time.
Yeah.
The other person in that relationship, that toxic relationship, you will hear them talking about judging and criticizing people all the time. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And like when we're not careful, when we're around people who are negative and judging and criticizing other people, it becomes like a virus. We just absorb it. And the next thing you know, we join in with them, not realizing that we've been infected with what they have.
Similar to coronavirus.
That again?
Similar to coronavirus right now.
Like a coronavirus. When people judge and criticize other people, if we are not secure in who we are and we're standing up to know that that's not right, we listen to them and we become infected. Like you said, like a virus, like coronavirus, we become infected and we go to the next person, judging and criticizing. But it's because of the fact we're spending all that time around that particular person. And then they also, some other things that's going on, that person is isolating them from other people. You see what I'm saying? Not only are they controlling and they are being judgmental and critical, they're isolating them from other people, either from telling them they can't go and be with other people, including their family, or through judging and criticizing. All of a sudden it's like, well, maybe I shouldn't be around that person, but it's based upon what that other person has said. And one of the early signs that a lot of women miss when it comes to toxic relationships, there's a term that's called love bomb.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're love bomb, you are like overly shadowed with gifts and affection. It's over the top. You understand what I'm saying? Not saying that you can't fall in love and a man can't give you flowers and this, but it's over the top. You know, you're on cloud 9, you know, you way, you may be even further than that, but you way up there. When you love bomb, you worship like you a trophy. You see what I'm saying? And that other individual, oh, look at my woman. Isn't she beautiful? This is my woman. They're saying stuff like that.
Yeah.
And at first it feels good, but then all of a sudden something feels off. And then you all of a sudden you're left rather with this layer of shame, like you're swimming in a sea of shame. So if someone is happy that you're with them, you shouldn't be left feeling shameful for them being proud of you. But that's what happens in the beginning. When you're love bombed, that's one of the signs that women miss. They're swept off their feet. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so they don't look for like what they're looking for in a man. So they have no criteria or like a list of criteria, like this is something I want to in my guy, my husband, my partner have to have. They just look for someone and they find it looks attractive or could be successful or something, then having a going for a date or something, then make a big decision on their life, either getting engaged or getting married without realizing who they are. And for asking questions, it's not like you can live with the person 5 years, 10 years, still you wouldn't know who they are unless you have a proper communication with them from the beginning. Yeah.
And you know what, too? See, that's what happens because of myself and the other women that I've talked to. What happens a lot of times, they'll know, they might have an idea of the type of person that they want to be with, but because of their own wounds not being taken care of, they don't realize going into the relationship, they don't pay attention to those red flags, because 9 times out of 10, before you've gotten married to that person, you've already seen that something is off. But the reason why you don't really stop and think about it is because of the fact that you got so caught up from being love bombed. You see what I'm saying? Like when they worship you in the beginning, but leave you with shame, you so caught up from being like that. And remember, you're wounded. You know, you're wounded with that not enoughness. You're wearing it on your sleeves and everywhere you go. So when you're so caught up in that and that brokenness of not healing, you are allowing your brokenness to make decisions. You see what I'm saying? You're making decisions based out of your brokenness, not based out of common sense.
Definitely.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The reason being why is...
So you're making decisions based upon that feeling you got initially.
Yeah, like I mentioned, like I have experienced things like that when my friend circle and like family members. So they choose the wrong person, especially women. They chose the wrong person because of, like you mentioned, wounded ourselves with our past experiences. Yeah, some of them like, oh, I'm not pretty enough, I don't look well, or I don't have the self-confidence. And they look for, like if you guys dated about 5-10, it didn't work out, they didn't find the way like what they're looking for, and then settle down with someone. Actually, the person is not appreciating them, this person is not respecting them. And eventually, it's like when they get married or like they dated or start living together, then they become a toxic relationship. Physically abusing, then that ends up like a mentally abusing as well. And like you said, all of your clients mainly have controlling over them. So control over them with money-wise, financial-wise, their career-wise, and being who they are actually. So yeah, with my experiences and what I've seen, the main thing is like a self-confidence and the lack of, they don't believe like they can do better at the beginning. They're just trying to settle down and staying in the comfort zone.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They don't think that they can do better. And that's because they have that wound of not enough and of unworthiness. And that is what that wound makes them think, I deserve to be in this. This is what I deserve. This other person, because 9 times out of 10, when you end up in that type of relationship, the man is very handsome. So you feel like, oh, you see what I'm saying? I'm not good enough for him. Because you've
Yeah.
already been wearing I'm not enough all the way up until you met that person.